Elimination of the existence is inevitable. Whatever you are not sure of, at least be sure of this. Elimination of existence is inevitable. It is the only ruthless method of existence. Eliminating one and replacing another one in its place is not injustice, but an inevitable reality. It is how agriculture exists. It is how governments exist. Similarly, we ourselves exist with our ancestors' DNA in this world. In the same way, even our universe, through black holes, white holes, and big bangs. So, no doubt, everything is to be eliminated here. It may be our existences, identities, beliefs, religions, and cultures. Only the fittest will survive. It can be a frog that feeds an insect, or a snake that swallows the frog which ate the insect. It is reported that approximately 13 million refugees were hosted in European countries towards the end of 2023. So, majority of the European countries have migrant crisis. The increasing number of asylum seekers and migrants have caused a threat to the cultural identity of the Europeans. That is the reason behind the anti-immigration protests throughout Europe and in the UK. Similar protests might have been there in Britain from the native Britons in 6th and 7th centuries against the Germanic tribes like Angles, Saxons, and Jutes when they had migrated to Britain then. Such like protests of the then Balkans, Egyptians, and North Africans against the Ottoman occupation could have happened in between 13th and 19th centuries. Same anti-immigrant protests of the Native Americans against the migration of Europeans happened during 15th to 19th centuries in North America. There are chances of the occurrences of the identical anti-migration protests throughout the world from time immemorial. Thus, the elimination of the existing one makes another one exist. That is how the present Egypt, Balkan countries, the UK, and the USA exist. Nothing is permanent except change. That is the peculiarity of the changelessness of the change. Change is essential for survival. Only with change everything survives. So, our identities, beliefs, religions, and cultures are subject to be changed. They may sometimes need more time to change. Sometimes they may not have a total change, but have a partial change. Anyhow, change is inevitable, like death after birth in earthly life. So, doubtlessly, the Europe, the UK, and the USA will be changed at least to some degree, by the refugees and migrants. All the protests and resistance are the strugglings for the survival, the war between majorities and minorities. The unity and perseverance in the minorities are stronger than the same in the majorities. At the end, only the slow and steady will win the battle. Please don't jump into the conclusion that I am a supporter of the refugees and migrants in the Western countries and a hater of the Western people who once colonized my country. Your psychoanalytical way of thinking may sometimes definitely take you in this direction. So, let me tell you the facts and truths that I have observed from my environment, which made me realize the inevitability of the elimination of all existence. Hinduism and Hindu were coined by the British. In what way the indigenous peoples of America were identified as Red Indians by Christopher Columbus. Authoritative people are blessed with such powers throughout the world. That is how OK is still used for all correct. By Hindus, the British meant all others except Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Jains, and Sikhs in India. Neither they knew about the existence of Saivism and Vaishnavism, nor the majority Saivites tried to convince them they are different from Vaishnavites. Saivism believes in Advaita. It believes God exists in human. So, self realization of the self and its spiritual identity is the ultimate goal. Through prayers and meditation, this self realization is possible, and thereby one can attain moksha, the birthlessness. But Vaishnavism believes in Dvaita. According to their belief, human and God are not one. One is Jivatma, another is Paramatma. Though the unification reaching Vaikundam is possible through different births, it should move through promotions. There comes Varnasrama, Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana, where the elites are most preferable to God. So, Saivism and Vaishnavism are totally different. Actually, the attack of Muhammad Ghazni in the 11th century and then the ruling of Islamic rulers changed the atmosphere in both North and South India. When the Buddhists and Jains kept distance with other religions, Saivites and Vaishnavites didn't maintain distance with each other. When Saivite sannyasis were behind moksha. Vaishnavites began to record and edit the ancient scriptures. Ramayana and Mahabharata were there to compete with Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Bhagavad Gita and Manusmriti to compete with the Bible and the Quran. But the Sannyasa Upanishads, Kalidasa's Kumara Sambhava, Tirumulan's Tirumandram, Tevaram, and Tiruvasagam, and other Shaiva Siddhanta texts have completely been rejected. Instead, only Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and Mahabharata projected everywhere, all the times. Instead of Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Sri Ram, and Hari Om have become the primary utterances of all Hindus. The Vijayanagara Empire that existed in between the 14th century and 17th century did all to strengthen Vaishnavism. Though the resistance of the Saivites tried its maximum to survive, it ended at the fall of the Maratha kingdom of Shivaji. In between, in 1526, Guru Nanak found Sikhism, who was against superstitions, blind rituals, and caste discrimination. So, when the British people categorized religions, they found Hinduism with its holy texts named Bhagavad Gita, the Manusmriti, the Ramayana, and Mahabharata, with the accompaniment of caste system, superstitions, and blind rituals. The educated Vaishnavites, who were always with the British, came out with Garuda Purana and showed similarities in the torturing of the sinners and the existence of heaven and hell, Surgam and Naraka. With Bible and Quran there. They also pointed out the Hindu Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, equivalent to the Trinity in Christianity. This concept is not in Saivism. How cleverly they have assigned the duty of destroyer to Lord Shiva, the god of Saivites. How intelligently they have created heaven and hell that is not in the belief of Saivism. To Saivites, getting moksha, birthlessness, is the ultimate aim. Otherwise, they have to try again to get moksha in the next birth. Then, how ruthlessly they have inserted the hierarchy of casteism through the differentiation of human births from the forehead, shoulder, stomach, and foot of Lord Vishnu. Saivism believes in Advaita, oneness. Tattvam Asi means that is you. Agam Brahmasmi means God is there in you. So there is no casteism in Saivism. But when it has been included into Hinduism, casteism has been thrust upon Saivism too. Thus, Saivism had been swallowed by Vaishnavism and has become Hinduism. Slow and steady Vaishnavites eliminate Saivites. In my opinion, sometimes the Linkayats of Karnataka may survive to tell the world in the future that Saivism still exists. It is probable because only Linkayats strictly follow Saivism and they demand to declare them as a separate religion. So, in the days to come, Lingayats may exist as Saivites like Jains. Similar battles, fights to win, struggles not to be defeated happen and happened everywhere all the times. I am also the one who fights and struggles not to be defeated like Santiago in The Old Man and the Sea. I can only proclaim Saivism can be swallowed by Vaishnavism, but it can't be digested by it. So, Saivism will be ejected and will survive through Siddhas, Yogis, Nagasannyasis, the followers of Adiyogi, and Linkayats. That existence too will be eliminated one day. Then the evidences of the eliminated existences may sometimes be preserved in museums. Otherwise, they may sometimes be destroyed, like that of the Buddhas of Bamiyan by the Talibans. So, every identity, belief, religion, and culture will be eliminated within a few millennia by those who can't accept it. That is why, on seeing the protest of anti migrants in the UK and Europe, I have shared my thoughts and feelings on the inevitability of the elimination of the existences. We should accept change because only change is changeless. You may shout like me in the same manner. Who cares?